Fishers don't care. The Fishers have never cared. How much investments have they made to our community? They only started to recently do a little something to pretend like they care about our city.
We are also concerned that the chairman of the BCDC is part of a law firm that represented the A's, and that it appears that their law firm still has a relationship with the A's. So it's somewhat unethical, in our opinion, for the BCDC to even be taking this vote, because it appears to be a violation of the Fair Political Practices Act. Although they have ruled that Wasserman can vote because his affiliation was in the past, but we are really concerned about the role that he's playing. The Bay Conservation Development Commission is the governmental body that oversees the policies that regulate the West Coast ports. They need to vote and give an exemption to the city and the port to allow the port to be used for a non-maritime purpose. If they provide that exemption, then the A's will be able to submit a request for a permit to develop their A's.
First of all, if you eliminate Howard, people don't understand the consequences of eliminating Howard Terminal. First of all, Howard Terminal is packed with containers right now. If anybody goes down there, it is fully packed. It's also a place where the truckers are allowed to idle. And the West Oakland community fought for years to get the trucks off the residential streets because of the excessive emissions and, high levels of asthma and stuff in West Oakland. So the fact that if you eliminate Howard Terminal, that it's going to affect it is a key area that the ports need to stack extra containers. It's also, I think, an area that is needed to for the railroad to take stuff off and place in Howard Terminal. So it's accessible to the railroad.
Specifically about the BCDC, you talked about the head of the BCDC and ties to the A's.
Yeah, well, we're concerned that Zachery Wasserman used to be the representative of the A's. And even though the Fair Political Practice Commission has said that his affiliation with the A's is in the past, we're still concerned that he has an undue influence and relationship with the A's, and that he's being influenced by that relationship. Okay, and he is chair of the BCDC. Okay, so the BCDC is going to vote on whether the port has to maintain a priority designation for shipping when he has this relationship with the A's who want to use the Howard Terminal. So we think his position is somewhat biased and influenced by his firm's relationship with the A's, even if it was in the past.
My former neighbors, hundreds of them, in Oakland, what used to be known as the Funktown district, who were driven out by gentrification and higher rents. We need to recognize them first and foremost, in my opinion. Now, we know that the building trades unions support this project. And as Naomi mentioned, I'm the former recording secretary of Carpenters Local 713. My pension depends on the Carpenters Union. But years ago, I had a conversation with one of my business agents in which I told him, if they were going to build a prison to put all union members in, you guys would support it as long as it was built union. And he thought for 2 or 3 seconds, and then he said no. But the key is, he had to think about it for a couple seconds before denying it. This support from the building trades for this real estate scam, that's what it is. It's got nothing to do with the A's. This support is extremely short-sighted and selfish. It will drive up the rents. It will accelerate the gentrifying and also what I call the whiteification of Oakland. We know that nowadays owning a sports franchise anywhere is not about the franchise, it's about the sweet real estate deals that the franchise owners, in this case John Fisher, that go with owning that franchise. And John Fisher is a poster child for that, as a gentrifier in San Francisco. And building this project will import John Fisher, who is one of the leaders of the privatization of public school movement, one of the leaders of that nationwide. It will bring John Fisher right into the heart of Oakland City politics, which incidentally is more or less controlled by the real estate developers already. It will by increasing the gentrification in Oakland, it will vastly decrease the political might that the unions have here in Oakland, as well as the power that working class people, first and foremost people of color, have here in Oakland. It will accelerate the drive for privatization of both public land and public school here in Oakland. In conclusion, I want to say this, no political event can we ignore the twin freight trains that are bearing down on working class people all throughout this country and in fact throughout the world. The first of those freight trains is the rise to power of the radical, bigoted, racist far right through the Republican Party. The second, which Fisher in some ways represents, the second is the coming enormous disaster of global climate change. And we have to consider this project in light of those two freight trains. The Howard Street Terminal real estate development project will in its own way contribute and strengthen and speed up both of those freight trains. And so, from every point of view, we have to oppose it.